we're going to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, but I need to tell you that this is being recorded. So please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a lot of visitors today. I'd like to welcome you. So any award recognition or correspondence? What? Oh, yeah, it's the roll call. Almost. So Bridget's here. Justin's here. I'm here. Jared's here. Carrie's here. And Amanda's here. I should make you guys say you.
Did you write them?
Yeah. All right, thank you, Amanda, for reading. Any award recognition and correspondence? No? Okay. Any adjustments to the agenda? I know that we do have one, actually, as 8.6.
Yeah.
This tech. And then we're gonna add that as an action item down to the bottom at 10.3. And then we have public comments on non-agenda items. Just a reminder that public comment is set for, is it 3 minutes? 3 minutes. So our first one is Rebecca Jones.
I do from here.
If you can talk loud enough, go for it.
Oh, girl.
It's actually a large gym full of children. Yeah, actually, you have to come forward because you're actually addressing the board. Thank you.
My name is Rebecca Jones. I'm a parent of students in our district, and I'm here to express concerns regarding 3 issues. First is our policy JFCF-AR, which addresses hazing, harassment, intimidation, etc. Our policy states that these behaviors will not be tolerated, but there's nothing stating as to what will happen when an incident has been identified and verified, just that the principal/building administrator will give the complainant a written report of findings and recommend consequences. If one is unhappy with the decision, the complaint can be moved up the line within 10 working days to the superintendent, who is then to give a decision in writing to the individual. If you're unhappy with that, then you have 10 working days to bring the complaint to the board. They are to review it within 20 days. However, the public complaint policy KL states that you have up to 2 years to submit your complaint. Apparently, a complaint against general matters gets more time than a complaint about bullying. Do we really as a district believe we should so strictly limit the timeline for asking for help in a bullying, hazing, harassment situation? What purpose does this policy serve if it does not work to actually protect the victims and solve the problem, not just say, sorry, you missed your 10-day window? Secondly, even though there are general policies regarding student behavior, there is little to no consistency in how discipline is handed out. The third concern is in regards to staff response to potential infection control/bloodborne pathogen incidents. These are addressed in policy EBBAA. It says that there will be an exposure control plan that will be reviewed annually and updated as needed. Further, it says all staff will be trained annually on this. The policy states the staff will behave as though all direct contact with human blood and bodily fluids is known to be infectious for bloodborne pathogens. I was unable to actually locate an exposure control plan anywhere on the district website with an explanation of what those steps are to be taken to investigate and document the incident. Since this is a longstanding OSHA regulation, both on federal and state level, I'm sure it exists somewhere, but it's obviously difficult to find because these procedures were not followed when my son had an exposure incident during school hours recently. Unfortunately, I'm being told I missed my window of time to bring a complaint to the board, even though the KL policy states if it is unresolved after 10 working days of the receipt of the complaint by the superintendent, the complainant may appeal to the board. So instead, I'm here expressing general concerns. Thank you for your time and allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have a second, Heather Westfall.
I'm here today because
Well, for one, I think definitely we all need to be more involved in what goes on so that we can speak our voices and, I'm just concerned with, we pulled our kids out of school a couple years ago. And then we liked the direction that things were going, but I want to make sure that my kids are safe in school. And that if there's an incident like what happened, that there is consequences, hard consequences. So that, I mean, otherwise there's no reason for any type of bullying to stop. Like there has got to be some type of rule that says this type of things are not okay. Not okay, and without consequences, nothing changes. So I want to make sure that my kids are safe when they're at the school, and they're doing very well in school, and they like being around friends. I would like to keep them in school, but I don't want to worry that my kids are going to get bullied and have, a situation like this. Because there's nothing, I know that there's no stopping a kid from doing something like this, but there has to be consequences. I mean, it has to.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
Okay. So moving on to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
One on the, real quick on the, when it says I called the meeting to order, it says 5:30. The special meeting we had last time. And the notes, the meeting
In
minutes.
the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll adjust that, thank you.
Oh,
With an adjustment to changing the time, thank you.
Other than that, I approved to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with that correction.
Yep.
Second.
okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All against say nay. Okay. Fiscal overview, Lacey.
Okay, I want to remind you that Oregon Ethics Commission will be emailing all of you shortly that our survey will be opening up, so it's not spam or junk. I will find exactly who it's from, and then I'll just email all of you, or I'll have Carrie email you. Here, look for this, it's from this, like you're, done. We have, I believe, until tax day, April 15th. So it should open up March 15th. And it's the annual, we do it annually, and so just kind of look out for that, but I'll email you exactly who it's from, the judicial, and so that way you can keep your eyes out. And it will go to your MPSD email, I believe. We received 200,000 more, or we are receiving 200,000 more state school fund this year, that's an adjustment. And then next year, that bumps up another over 400,000. So that's good news. We are over 1 million for our ending fund balance. And then I'm starting our budget process. I opened up my provisional and I started that process. And so I talked to Steve and we will budget from kind of what we currently are right now. That we were pretty safe.
Any questions for Lacey? Board superintendent report.
Wanted to highlight that we had a dark to light training for all staff on the 28th, which is sexual abuse training for all staff on, we had it at Murcrest. And going over what these people just talked about, we are putting a brand new student handbook in place, which we are all putting together and using the OSBA as a model or a template, and then which will define consequences, etc. We're also putting a very stringent athletic handbook together, which Middle Point doesn't really has one, but it's old, has not been looked at for some time. So we're using models from different schools, so that we're also going to put that in place. We will work on it. And it'll be adopted, hopefully those will be adopted in August before the school starts. So there'll be an athletic handbook and a student discipline handbook for all three schools. And obviously they will all be a little different for grade levels. And then we're also putting together if you didn't know, we had a bus accident recently. But we also, we have protocols and procedures, but we're defining those. So we know exactly who's making a phone call to who, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In this situation, there were 5 kids on the bus, 3 of them have to be my grandchildren. And one of the Sprouls, one Sproul and then one other. So there were 5 kids, or actually 6 kids on the bus, 2 of the Clements. And there's no injuries, thank goodness. But like I said, it was in county, in the county, so, but the responding police was the city. So there's just a lot of things that we need to get together with, in the law enforcement, et cetera. When you dial 911, what really happens. So that we're putting that stuff together also, because we've had 2 accidents in the last couple of years, one coming from, on the Powers Highway, with a truck that ran into our bus. So, and again, no injuries, and that's been the fortunate thing, but again, we just need to make sure that we have everything in place in case it were to happen again. In case somebody actually did get hurt. So those are the things that I have to report on.
Any questions for Steve? Enrollment report, Carrie?
We're just hanging in there, guys. We've lost a couple of kids at both schools. And then we gained a couple at Maple, or at Norquest, sorry. But the numbers still where we talked about last.
And then evaluation as Perkins, we did an evaluation and I have. Thanks for reading here. So the board is proud of Superintendent Steve Perkins' progress this year, especially with the opening of Maple Middle School. His focus on building collaborative relationships with teachers, staff, and the community has boosted stakeholder satisfaction and strengthened commitment to the district's vision. Superintendent Perkins is a strong advocate for rural school districts. All right. Anything else anybody wants to add to that? Okay. Second reading of policy updates to GBNAA, JHFF, GCAA, and JHFF, GBNAA. Any questions about those policy updates? Okay.
I do have a question. And reading from it was a lot of information. I do, always try to pay attention to, and I know we aren't responding to public comment. But questions around timelines. Being on the State Board of Education, I know where the conversation comes when we talk about 2 years and why it's set at 2 years. And this is saying there are OSBA recommendations around these timelines. I am a huge advocate for making sure that there's always an opportunity. And so if we miss a window for a family, is there any appeals process or any systems outside of this? I don't think there is. I'm just asking for clarification. This is what it is.
Correct.
Because the 10-day window is really short for a family coming forward. Sometimes it takes us quite a while to process and figure out and negotiate the system. So I, in my own work on the State Board of Education, do really try to push for timelines that are responsive to the family and the paces that we're all keeping up with. So if this policy is passed, is there any time to come back and review? Can you work outside of OSBA recommendations for what works for the school district? Just trying to be really informed.
Can you work outside of them? No. That they're the state, they make basically state law through, through the,
Mhm.
and then then it goes through legislation,
Right.
but, no, they are they are the attorneys basically for that do policy. Some policy will come, like I said, they will recommend it to the state, and then it may change in legislation, in a session, but they are the policy
They are
holders.
policy.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask those questions. I know with the State Board of Education, they do get legislation and we have to set the rules.
Yeah.
On that, but I did want to always advocate as best we can. Okay.
Any other questions regarding those policy updates? Okay,
first reading of policy BBEA. Any questions regarding that policy? Looks like they're changing sometime. Or. No, just. Taking.
Just the numbers.
Yeah.
Just the number of members that have to be present to represent a, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A forum during budget.
Budget committee. Okay.
Right, with us is 8, since we have 7 board members.
Yeah. Any questions regarding the first reading of that policy? Okay, moving on to SysTech.
So this is, for cabling at the high school, for more cameras, throughout the campus, including, we're gonna try to, well, once we get the greenhouse up, there'll be electricity to that. Then we can put a camera outside on the greenhouse to the parking lot. But this is all cabling. This is SIA money, for safety, going along with it, it's the idea of cabling or the cameras and fencing, all the same. So this is SIA dollars that we have, that we're using to wrap up all of the safety issues that we've had. And again, more fencing to be done, next year. And that will be the track, is then when we get that, when that job is, and they're out of there, then the track will be the next one that will be fenced. We have done some improvements at Myrtle Crest. The high school is as fenced as you can get it. So that will be the last part of the fencing will be up there. Then for this building is inclusive, so we don't have any of the fencing until kids are in, so. That's it. This is like I said, cabling for more video at the high school, more coverage.
So it says 40, how many is there currently? But yeah, so.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
And you can hear as well on these ones? This, because it says speakers.
Yes.
And speaker drops are for like the PA stuff right now.
So that they can actually hear the announcements or whatever else is going on in the breezeway,
Okay.
in which they can't right now. So that, and the outside, no. No, not for that.
So is there somebody at each school keeping track of all these monitors and cameras at all times, or how is?
Oh, yeah, well, there are. Each principal has cameras. We have cameras in our front office, and so do the others. Our IT person has every camera in the district. So if something were to happen, you're not monitoring it 24/7, obviously, but if something were to happen, and it's, then we can go back to those cameras, to look to see what may have happened.
Okay.
So, yeah. And we do not have real good coverage at the high school right now.
Who picked 40 spots?
What's that?
The 40 spots.
I think Dan and Kaylee had a lot to do with, where they want them.
And
So-
Aaron helped.
And then I said, and obviously, I think 2 of those potentially are going into the metal shop. So, three of them are going to the metal shop, okay?
Any other questions about the cameras? Any public comment regarding agenda items?
No, that's makes sense.
Okay. And what action items? 10.1, approve the 2025 evaluation of Superintendent Steve Perkins.
I make a motion to approve the 2025 evaluation of Superintendent Steve Perkins.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against, say nay. Okay, 10.2, adopt policy GBNAA/JHFF, BCAA, and JHFF/GBNAA.
I make a motion to approve the policies GBNAA/JHFF, BCAA, and JHFF/DBNAA.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All against, say nay. All right, 10.3, Systech.
Make a motion to approve the Systech. What's the service order
Yeah, service order.
as presented?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. All right, upcoming meeting input, 11.1. May or June, set board goals and choose standards for superintendent values. So we will do that. In May or June. We could probably do it in May. Any announcements? All right, go to the order. We'll start with Amanda.
I thought about this the other day and I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, our OSET kids, you guys know I'm Force Person. They are, 2 meets out of 3 down. So they've already completed 2 meets and our Myrtle Point team continues to place high in all of their classes. And, they do some really complicated events at their equestrian meets that are team events where they're doing obstacle courses. And I know that we've taken a couple first places in our groups there. So congratulations to those kids. And we don't see a whole lot of them doing other events because they tend to really dedicate their lives to horses. But we did have 3 of them played basketball this year. So 3 played basketball and made it to OSET meets and probably drove Jen and their mother and their auntie and their coaches crazy on both ends, but they did make it. So congratulations to those kids and those teams. And thanks to everybody who supports them financially because they have to spend a lot of money to do that. So thanks.
Here,
Nice to see our little veggie bingo made it to a magazine,
that was cool.
our little school here. Um,
Was that in the lunch department?
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
was hoping it was, but.
yeah, they got to play bingo and then they got to taste the veggies apparently, so they could taste new foods. Unlike my grandchildren.
And they didn't even get to have ranch.
No ranch dip? Well, that is good if you get a vegan without ranch dip. Looking forward to spring sports. Everything, baseball, track, whatever's going on, gotta get started. Nice to see some new changes coming down from the feds. Maybe the state will get some of their acts together on some issues. And congratulations to the 26th, 7th, and 8th graders who got straight A's.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Garrett.
It's usually where I say, man, I really appreciate the buses being so safe, but,
Again.
accidents happen, I think, but good comes out of that is a procedure. Nobody really knows what to do in an emergency until you have that emergency and you realize that you thought you knew what you needed to do and you don't. So I think it'd be a good step forward, with that and the new handbooks for the code of conduct for the school. I think it's super important. I mean, education's first, but, big part of education is consequences. And I'm a firm believer of that. So I think, timely matter, timely, make it work for everybody. Unfortunately, state ties hands on some policy, so, but as a board, we should do what we need to do to make sure our students are safe and educated all at the same time.
Very good. Justin.
I agree. I'm glad to see you working on a new handbook and with the sports side of it too, to consequences will lead, if you're in bad in school, you're gonna not be able to do sports too. There's consequences. It's not it's a privilege to play. It's not like, you don't have to be allowed, so. And I want to thank the school for the trip to Washington DC. Cash had a great time. He's so excited about the, getting to go there and see everything. That was a great experience. Excited for spring sports too, so.
Are we for the update?
In April,
Yes.
next month.
Yes.
Sorry, I forgot about that when you asked about upcoming, but yes, they will be here to present in April.
I saw that. When you said that. Bridget?
Also appreciate updating policy handbook stuff, really important, to keep all of us safe. And also we, I don't know if Myrtle Point has attended yet, but the tribe's hosting the fourth grade program, partnership with Chris History Museum. We have about 800 kids in fourth grade from 5 different counties come through in 2 weeks. So I hope there are parents that if they were there today. I would love to hear any comments from parents, students, on that experience. Love that our school kids and families get to come through. Love seeing everybody in this room today. You know, it's the most important thing we do to come together to support our students and our families, all of our students. And so, yes, I was a little nervous when everybody came through. It's great to have everybody here.
I agree with all of that. I'm also excited to see, the state funding is going up, so that will make things a little bit easier coming forth with this next budget. I'm excited to see how the handbook comes out and, we actually have like things listed out, so there's not confusion on what to do with different issues, so. All right, and with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming.